Hello, welcome to a special episode where I join a Friday for Future protest here in Stockholm, Sweden. The protests happen every Friday at 9 a.m. It doesn't matter the weather, it doesn't matter what's happening. Actually, right now the weather is nice, how it was when I came at first. Yes, I'm recording this after I talked to them. So just come and I hope you enjoyed this special episode that I did for you today. Before my interview with the Friday for Future activist, I met Argentinian environmental activist Juliana Orihuela from the group Asamblea por un Mar Libre de Petroleras from the city of Necochea in Argentina. So I came to the Friday for Future protest here in Sweden, and I met this Argentinian lady she was in Norway protesting against this Norwegian mining company that is pretty much destroying the Argentinian sea. So I just want you to talk your organization, what you guys are doing, and what's happening in Argentina, because unfortunately a lot of people don't know about the destruction that not only Europe, but especially the Nordic countries are still doing in the global south, especially in Latin America and South America. Okay, yeah. So here's the mic.
Okay, thank you very much. We were invited to participate last week in a debate that took place in Norway, where the enterprise Equinor comes from. And the idea was to show to Norwegian people that their state oil company is mining our sea. They present themselves as green, as renewable company, but they're drilling the ocean and killing our fauna. So as we were very close, we decided to come to Fridays for Future protest because it's a very important way to raise our voice and put our fight into international channels, which is not very easy when the media are all bought and paid by these big oil companies. So our fight is called Atlanticazo. It's like the name of the ocean, the Atlantic, and then a way of emphasizing the name. And we have created an organization between many coastal cities. We call it La Red de Comunidades Costeras, Coastal Communities Network, and we're working together in order to stop ducts and oil offshore projects in the Atlantic Sea, in the Atlantic Ocean.
I wanted to ask, how bad is it? How can you put it? How bad is it in terms of communities, in terms of people that are affected? How bad is it? So people can understand how bad is it.
It hasn't started yet. So far they are doing just what it's called the seismic exploration, which is a very bad technique for the fauna. They are doing it in one of our most biodiverse areas in the sea, which is called El Talud Continental, where all fishes feed and where mammals teach their babies how to stay under the water and everything. Since they started their seismic exploration, we have already found more than 10 death whales, which is absolutely not normal. We never find dead whales in the shore, but since they started the seismic exploration, that's happening. As far as we know, all fisher communities are going to be affected by this because seismic exploration makes fish go away because the sound is very loud and makes them deaf. So communities from tourism and fishing communities are going to be totally affected by this, but it hasn't started yet. The first drill is supposed to happen in April 2024.
Okay. You mentioning greenwashing. So why do you think it's important to talk about greenwashing? Why?
First of all, I have seen a lot of electric cars in Europe. We don't have anything like that in Argentina. On the other hand, if you get inside the webpage of Equinor, they say they're leading the green transition. But where are they taking that energy for the green transition from? Are they taking it from our lithium triangle? That is also affecting the north part of our communities, and the north of Argentina, also Bolivia. So there is no possible conversation about about green transition if you don't take into account what the communities are being affected. And the lithium is a very important mineral for the rest of the world to make their green cars and everything, electric cars, but it's not what the communities in that place want. So I think we should be talking about consumism, about degrowth, about how to be sustainable in the planet, and living the way European people lives is not possible within the limits of the planet.
Yeah, totally. Thank you so much. You were in Norway and you came here. So you were in Norway in a panel discussion with activists from other countries. You were brought by Greenpeace. So can you talk a little more about that experience? And also, I know you had a lot of response from the Norwegian people. So yeah, if you could talk a little more about your experience.
It took us a lot of time to accept the invitation, but we finally did, and the coastal communities decided together what we were going to tell to the people. The problem with Norway is that Equinor is a state oil company. That means that the people from Norway own that company, and civil people doesn't want this kind of projects to continue. They've been told their company is green, they're working on renewables, which is not true, at least in Argentina. And the idea last week was to create a coalition between at least 5 countries being affected by the same enterprise. Those countries are Canada with the Bay du Nord project, United Kingdom with the Rosebank project, Argentina with the offshore project in the whole coastal communities, Bacalao in Brazil, and what they're doing at Tanzania. So these 5 countries, people from those 5 countries came to Norway. We spent 3 days together thinking about how can we work together to fight this enterprise named Equinor, and to gather to see what we have in common and what we have in different, what is different, so we can be stronger. So it was an incredible experience, and people from Norway, social people, civilians, told us that they really want their enterprise to stop this. There was a debate after between 5 politicians and a representative from Equinor, and well, it's all recorded, so you can look for it and see the whole debate and all the presentations from different countries.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to include a link to the debate on this episode description. But before we finish, I just want to ask, what do you think is going to be next, especially with the political situation in Argentina, the new president? I know he's like techno-fascist libertarian, and so what's going to happen next?
We're now defending our rights to protest. All over the world, activists are being criminalized. There are being a lot of judges and trials happening now. So first things first, we'll have to learn how to protect ourselves. But then it's very hard to have a president that denies climate change. So the future looks pretty bad. And on the other hand, what Argentinian police is doing is attacking activists, shooting at their eyes. So that's how they worked in Chile some years ago, and that's a way to mark you, to like everybody's going to see you are one eye blind, and they will know you're an activist and you're protesting. So we have to be very creative and like learn new ways to protect ourselves and stay together, because this is just starting and we're stubborn and we're not going to stop.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. After my interview with Juliana Orihuela, I spoke with Fridays for Future activists. Okay, before I start asking you questions, I want to know, can you tell me what that is, what building that is behind you?
So behind us we have the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Sweden, who have been a bit problematic to some extent, according to some people, maybe us.
Okay, so I know you guys been doing this protest Friday for Future for years here. You've been coming every Friday. I wasn't even expecting that you were gonna be here because the weather is very bad. So I just want to know how has it been going in the past few years? I noticed also your message has developed a lot.
I mean, yeah, we will come here every Friday, even though the weather is really bad. We've been here in like minus 15 degrees and snow and everything, and we still got here. We get the clothes necessary to be here because it's really important to show that we are here every Friday. Yeah, our message has developed like a movement develops. And we understood, when we grew up, we understood what climate justice meant, and it's not only about mitigating climate change, but it's about social issues, it's about climate justice, it's about people dying, and not only trees not existing anymore or something like that.
Yeah. I want to also ask you questions about, now you mentioned that about like your solidarity work. You have created a lot of solidarity networks with Sami, with indigenous communities from the global south. Why do you think that's important?
Absolutely. So as Chris mentioned, in the past few years we have established our message around climate justice, which is not only around climate, but it also takes into consideration social justice and human rights, and in particular it stands in solidarity with oppressed people, with indigenous communities, with those people that are left out of our systems, current systems, and some of these are the Sami people, as you mentioned, we have Palestinians, and we have all other indigenous people around the world that are being exploited for various reasons, that are being oppressed in different forms. So climate justice is this in its essence, and we're trying to bring that message up and bring their voices up through our protests here on strikes on Fridays.
I also see that you also show like always solidarity for Palestine. Why is it important for the climate activism to show solidarity for Palestine?
You can go.
You want to go?
I have to think.
Why do you think it's important for, like, because I know like in some contexts, I don't know if here in Sweden, but some contexts when like climate activists show solidarity towards Palestine, they get harassed or they get told that that's not an issue, that's not a climate change issue. So I want to know, why do you think it's important to show solidarity for Palestine in the climate activism?
Well, it's really important to understand how the climate change issues are really related to so many other issues, and it's all the entire system that is failing us, and is creating oppression in so many places. So like the exploitation, the colonialism, the oppression for profit, for more resources, for fossil fuels especially, and this entire capitalistic society does lead to, for instance, the oppression of the Palestinian people and climate change and this destruction of the environment. And we cannot we cannot talk about reducing our emissions without talking about those that are barely having any emissions and being the most affected by the climate change. We in Sweden are quite privileged for not having to feel so much these effects, at least us here in Stockholm, but other people, the Palestinian people for instance, have to fight every day to get their resources, to survive the climate catastrophes, and to survive the oppression and the apartheid of Israel.
Okay. And to continue on that, I think in Palestine we have two things that are very, very clear. One, that is that the oppressed people and that the marginalized communities are the ones that are suffering the most from climate changes, as Chris said. And also it's very, very clear how the natural resources in front of Gaza and the sea are exploited by Israel and other Western countries, even though they should be in the hands of the Palestinian people. And this is very, very clear. It's blatantly clear in how in the apartheid strait that Israel has brought up. So these two things are very, very clear in Palestine, and I think make a concrete link with the climate justice causes that we're trying to raise. And so for us, it's been, of course, it's been a tough moment, but it was a no-brainer in the sense that we wanted to stand in solidarity with Palestine and with Palestinian people in this.
Okay.
We always stand in solidarity with colonized people and oppressed people.
Okay, well, yeah, thank you so much. I don't know what else I could ask. Thank you so much. And what is the future of Fridays for future?
Oh, well, we will continue to strike every Friday. We will continue to do what is necessary to get the people in power to act for climate change, for reducing our emission, but also especially for social justice, for the people, and to stop destroying the environment always for this stupid short-term economic profit.
And yeah, I think also one thing that we keep trying to do is, of course, involve more and more people as we go. We're a strong group. We're a numerous group, and we want to, of course, have more people come in and kind of reach other people that maybe are not represented in our group at the moment. And so the more the merrier. If people are interested, we're here to welcome them every Friday.
Thank you. Yeah, now that you mentioned that, I had the opportunity to meet her. I forgot her name because I just met her and I'm very bad with names. But I had the opportunity to meet her and talk about what's happening in Argentina, and I had the opportunity to talk about, I'm Dominican, and about what the Barrick Gold, which is a Canadian company, is doing in the Dominican Republic, and it's something that not that many people know about. But yeah, so it's been really, really nice, and thank you so much for answering my questions. Is there anything else do you want to add? Oh, I have actually one last question. Now that we are in front of the building of Foreign Affairs, how do you feel the current like Swedish politics are affecting the environment? Like, of course, like fascism affects the environment, and I know they did this petty thing when they removed the tax on plastic bags for fruits. They removed that tax, and also they wanna like push more and more oil consumption just for being petty. But like, how do you think like the current state of Swedish politics also affect the environment in a sense, and your fight for the environment and your activism in general?
Should I start? Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, it's important to mention that our old government has not been better, like so much better than this one.
Yeah.
It has been terrible. It has done really bad things. It has not reduced the emissions. They keep going up. But this new government has managed, even after everything, to get it even worse. They are emitting even more. They are not caring about any like, they don't care about the people. They are destroying even more the environment. They are pushing for exploitation and extractivism, and it has like serious, really bad consequences on the environment and the people. Life is going to get harder because of them. They are not respecting democracy. They are being fascist, racist, Islamophobic, sexist, whatever you want. And it's really bad, and it's really important to fight against this, otherwise nothing will happen. It's always important to fight back when that kind of things happen, otherwise you give them a space to continue to do their very dangerous politics.
I think, yeah, I don't have much more to add than that. I think I definitely agree with the things shared.
Okay. Well,
but one thing maybe we can say is that Sweden, at least in Europe and in the world, is portrayed as this leading example of sustainability, and with this government, if it was clear before, with this government it's definitely even more clear that it's actually not, and there are some blatant examples of disregard for the environment in Sweden, just as much as in other countries, of course, but it's important to bring that up and not think that it's a perfect country, as people think. Swedish forestry, primary example.
We barely have no more forests left. We are not a country full of forests. They're all dead. They're all plantations. Yeah.
Yeah. So horrible. Thank you so much for answering my questions, and good luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good luck to you as well.
Thank you. After talking to the activists, we stayed for a moment, and then we all walked together to the parliament and took the photo together, as they do every Friday, and they post in their social media accounts. Hi. Oh, I love it. I really love it. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching this special episode where I join a Friday for Future protest here in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm actually recording in front of the Swedish Parliament. I want to thank the activists who wanted to answer my questions. Thank you so much for the short interview, both the Friday for Future activists and the Argentinian activists who gave me a lot of information about what's happening in Argentina with these mining companies, and I want to share more information about what's happening not only in my Instagram account but also as part of my content. I was actually very surprised that Greta Thunberg came. I thought she wasn't gonna come, to be honest, because I thought she was in the United Kingdom, but she was here. I didn't ask her any questions because she was very, very tired, and I have to respect that. But yeah, it was really a very interesting experience, and I'm very glad that I was part of it, and I hope to come more and more often. If you like this content, if you want me to make more content like this, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, don't forget to share. I'm on social media, and I'm also on most podcast platforms. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and see you next time.